For sharing my experiences. I have been on The View dozens and dozens of times. Now, I didn't sit at their table, so I didn't get sucked into the politics. I did all the fashion, all the fun stuff. But let me tell you my experiences. It is one of the most toxic work environments I have ever experienced. I was there behind the scenes getting makeup done when they were doing that gladiator thing that we just heard Jenny McCarthy talk about. I would walk through the green room where Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar were sitting there. They would not even make eye contact with the guests. They always made you feel like you were a stranger there, and I wasn't even talking politics. Now, when they first started in 1997, the co-creator Bill Getty, who is the executive producer, I have to say he was one of the best in the business, the kindest men, but over the years, it got nastier and nastier and nastier, and now to me, it is the ultimate Mean Girls location, and the reason people don't want to sit at the table with you ladies is because you're just not nice. All right, let's leave it there. Mary, again, yes. Afraid to debate? I don't think so. When you get there and they cut you off, like we saw with Cheryl Hines,
right.
They attack you and they're not willing to listen or even to open their minds. Why would anyone want to go there?
See, we don't want to go on that show because we're not stupid. I think we all know what it's like to be like a 13-year-old girl. Been there, done that.
Absolutely.
And I'm an adult. I'm not doing that now. Joy Behar has not let anyone finish a sentence since Moses came down the mountain with the tablets. Right? She will not let anybody finish a sentence. And then if you make a good point, like Cheryl Hines, Whoopi goes, oh, we have to go to break. And it's cut off. No, let them stew in their little vile blech that they've got going on there. It's miserable.
And what I think is sad, Betsy, is the fact that, I mean, if you, I kind of went back and went through a lot of the women who had been hosts who left crying, who, like Meghan McCain, who said it was such a toxic work environment. She was traumatized and said, it's not worth it. Like, why are people so mean? And then she said, once they turn on you, they just make your life miserable. It is not a positive environment for strong women. That's what ABC claims. It most definitely is not, and that is even for producers and people behind the scenes.
Okay, but hope they're listening because I'm offering to come on. Last time I was on, I was discussing Obamacare. Remember when the president said, if you like your plan, you can keep your plan?
I remember.
If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Those were big lies. You're going to save money? No, it costs more and more. And now there's a whole new set of lies that can be debunked for the View's audience. Let's go, ladies. Let's not be cowed.
Betsy, how did they treat you when you were there?
Not nicely, but you know what? It's worth it to get your voice heard before an audience that may not be hearing the truth very often.
Yeah, and again, I think that's the point, though. The whole reason it's called The View, and they say this, is because they want different views there, and that's fine. I mean, that's what I try to do here. I call it The Other View because I want other views on this show as well. But at the same time, when you know that you're entering a lion's den, and you know that you are going to be kind of the resident punching bag, as a lot of these more conservative hosts were, and obviously the guests, then you're basically destroying the purpose of the show as a whole.
I gotta say I'm with Betsy on this one. I am more than happy to go on The View or any other show, left wing, right wing. I respond to outlets all the time that reach out to me in New York to share my point of view. I don't really care if you're gonna be curt or rude or you're gonna be less than friendly because, like Betsy said, I'm not talking to these women. I am talking to their audience. And among their audience, there are lots of people who you can't convince, but there are some that you can. There are some people that are listening, they hear some good ideas, they hear some different ideas than they've heard before, and they think, oh, like, I'm going to hear what that person has to say, and I think that makes it worth it.
That's why Maud's going to be a great district attorney.
Well, that sounds great, but they don't let you finish a thought or a sentence. So it's a waste of your time, and that's why I'm like, why bother? They're not going to let you finish a sentence, and if you make a good point, they're going to cut you off. So you're going into a boxing ring with both hands tied behind your back.
Right.
You know, it was also really regressive that they insisted Cheryl talk about her husband rather than her book. She went on there to talk about her book. Where's all the feminism, ladies?
That's a very, very good point. They took that opportunity to kind of bully her. And again, it was interesting at the end, Whoopi said, well, this was, a very enlightening conversation, something to that extent, and invited her back. But then, of course, Sunny Hostin, I think it was, chimed in and